I wouldn't even say I'm shocked. Like, yeah, sure, FaZe are favorites, but we know that they're in this really weird adjustment period where it's not very like clear where they're going or whether they'll be keeping this roster or if the players in this roster even want to be playing right now. So yeah, I never know what to expect with a FaZe game, but at least that, you know, holds true on the other side as well. So yeah, a brawl is what I'm expecting, a 3-mapper, hopefully, as we get into what will be our second series of the day. FaZe Clan versus MIBR for elimination, or likely, of course, as there will still be slots. We've only got 3 groups, so 8 teams to playoffs. So extra bonus opportunities along the way. But you don't want to be left down in the realm of relying on round difference or map difference. You want to be earning your spot via wins. And let's see if MIBR can pick up one of them today. T-side start, set towards B with 2, with the bomb outside along. Is this going to be a bit of a fake play with a util going into B and a late long burst? The question is, are FaZe pulled out of this pit setup? It's actually aggression from Rain, and it's perfect. He drops the bomb with the first kill. Flash is good. Rain doubles up. The bomb is in the open, and whatever MIBR had up their sleeve, well, it's been spilled all over the ground.
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty one-sided little pistol round, isn't it? The flash is good to get Rain off the angle, but Bardolph there to try and help. It's actually going to be Rain to steal all the glory in that pistol round. He picks it up along with Brokey at the very, very end. So FaZe get that locked in right away. They go 1-0 up. I'm curious, are we going to get the force buy back from MIBR? And it certainly looks like it. They're trying to bring the heat early on here. Now, in that MIBR heroic game from the other day, Shuz was the standout individual there with a pretty quiet game from Bolts. You know, I feel like if we get a bit more mileage out of him today, maybe that's going to help MIBR out. I think Yell, as you said, going to be very influential here.
Hi, guys.
Oh, hey, Dan. Happy to have you here.
Yeah.
How was the traffic?
It was not amenable to me making it here on time, but that's fine.
Wow.
I'm here now.
Everyone's happy to see you, ladies and gentlemen. DDK, welcome him to the stage. First time caller, long time listener, isn't that right, Dan?
Absolutely. Here I am, ready to. What's going on though? Well,
you've only missed the pistol, so FaZe were able to pick that up. It was Rain, Brokey, and some support from Olaf to get that locked in. And so, you know, this is MIBR's map pick. I think there's you kind of caught up with everything that you've missed.
Nice.
Oh.
That's pretty nasty.
You know that hinge smoke in the door on mid doors that players use to climb up the Xbox? Firstly, how did anyone find that? It's ridiculous. Secondly, I just saw MIBR throw the hinge smoke from top mid. It bounced off the ground and landed perfectly in that 1 pixel gap it has to land in. Like, to right-click it in from next to it, okay, that's one thing. To have a lineup from the top and middle, that's disgraceful.
Yeah, I actually saw that clip of someone throwing that smoke as a lineup recently doing the rounds on, it might have been Reddit, so it could be
sneaky.
Could be where you've sourced it from.
Yeah, that's really cool. They don't even go up cat with it. It just popped through the mid doors and split B very fast. So it might be our force a save from FaZe and take their first. What time is it right now for you, Dan?
It's pretty reasonable. It's 8:30 in the morning.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah.
So that's how you're getting up at like 6 a.m.
No, yeah, the 3:45 a.m. leave at 4 a.m. one was rough, but it's fine. Yeah. For the love of Counter-Strike, I've done a lot worse, significantly so.
That is true.
And it's all good. I'm liking this pace so far though from MIBR, from the Brazilians. We started off with a long take. Now they're in a position where they can either just sit here for a while, see what FaZe's response is, or they could start splitting out again. I kind of like the kind of slow, drawn-out, methodical push onto the A side in this kind of sort of like half-buy situation. But this is where problems can happen.
FaZe know it's coming as well. They've cleared out tunnels, they've cleared out mid. It's pretty clear at this point. No smoke spam connecting. MIBR have crossed to the site and they picked up the first. Rain dead. Still a gun at Gandalf as well. Tucked in is Brokey, hoping for help. Nice play for Olof with a flash from Kiebi. He finds one. Damage done, and Brokey has crept up from Gandalf. He could do a lot here. He could deny the plant. If MIBR try and rush it, but rushing is coming from Kiebi through the smoke with a deagle shot. Cold is going to be able to draw them in so well here for Brokey if they want to play it that way. If Cold doesn't just wait for the end of the round. Brokey playing first. Done the damage. Cold helps out. Low HP and finished off by Brokey. It's all on the scout of Yell. Really good round here for FaZe, and well, it's not over yet.
Ooh, Yell with that scout. Starting to get closer now, but it's Brokey on the other side, and the taps are in. Brokey closes it out. FaZe onto a second. And Brokey's always very, very dependable in rounds like that, right? Yeah. Where he is the last guy left, and he's in some like 1v1 or even like 1v2s. He's kind of excels in, it feels like. So a very safe pair of hands to leave the 1v1 to.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, you know, because, you know, I was talking about how this is usually quite a nice approach, anti-eco, anti-sort of half-buy, but, you know, one thing that's always interesting is the dynamic, you know, with those, the kind of cross position, because if you do those deeper smokes, the CTs can't get as close to you. So it's hard to make those flash plays through once you're kind of pushing past cross, and they can kind of get between you, and it gets really awkward when you have those closer smokes. So that was really unfortunate there for MIBR that they were not able to kind of deal with that better. It looked like though that FaZe really understood precisely how to deal with that kind of a round. So they're benefiting by taking the round. So it's going to put MIBR onto the back foot, and they've got a significantly worse situation on the weaponry. They do have catwalk control, and they may go for the old classic cat plants. Short plant here. FaZe already have a retake set up though. They're just deciding to hold them too long, and they can just let the plant happen and retake the site. So again, it feels like FaZe are, you know, a step ahead, you know.
Yeah, 5-on-5 retakes are, you know, dangerous, definitely, but FaZe with 2 players at long ready to deal with this late lurk from Shiz. His timing is everything right now. How early does he want to push? The call is in, though. They know FaZe are definitely long because of this setup. And now, waiting on the Cat is Danoko with a kill. All traded, though. FaZe moving up Cat, and still Shiz yet to show his hand. Brokey is not falling for it, though. He's holding on, and now he's got the info. Even if they go elsewhere and try and hunt the site, just the presence of Shiz alone is going to be enough to keep FaZe occupied. Cold with a second. Bolt's pushed out into the open. He gets his kill, and he's stalling very well. Bolt's doubles it. 3 in the round, potentially here, as Olof is the last to fall, and it's 4 for Bolts. As MIBR, they win that round, given the bomb site, and they make it work. Also worth noting there, you can see Shiz, like, he gets spotted at long, he takes his time to go for that play. Maybe a few seconds later is you know, the surprise, but Brokey's still watching. After he gets spotted, he actually just runs back Cat and goes to help out on the bomb site. He knows he can play the bomb. He knows that Brokey's going to be scared of him, late lurking still. And so even though it didn't matter because Bolt just kills everyone, Shiz is there as the insurance policy, something to rely on. And FaZe, their money has been broke all game, right? That's them losing to the second round force. Just continually buying after the fact. Today is no exception. So pistols and a scout. Let's just know a player's cross. He seems aware.
Yeah, it's kind of a scrappy start, isn't it? It's quite fun to see starts like this, the kind of back and forth of the players just going for those force buys. And this is an interesting setup here. It seems as though if Olof could find a good timing, he may be able to cause some problems, but oh, Brokey's going to get tagged. Able to get away, though. That's the important part. However, they did lose a player in mid already, so there are holes here to be exploited by MIBR. So they do this classic maneuver. They pressure the A site. Now they're going to go push mid for the B split. However, the long push is coming in at the same time, so maybe there's a timing possibly for Olofmeister and Rain to cause some problems. And there it is, the perfect timing, able to backstab Shiz and Cello, and that's the bomb down in mid. Now they're trying to defend with the Deegs. It's going to be very difficult, but they have a chance now.
Oh yeah, they got something all right. And here in the bottom of mid, things are getting a little bit chaotic. They get the bomb out of there, but look at this from Rain. He's come in through the tunnel. There's the first, waiting for the second. Pressured from mid and in the site, but Rain looking to lock it in. Bolts denies it right at the very end. And so that there is going to be the round just about going over the line for MIBR.
Oh, it's beautiful. Like the timing there, if you just look at the mini-map, the way that FaZe timed all of their pushes was just so perfect. And also the way that Rain split off from that mids push after they pushed doors and went into the tons when everyone's going for the bomb in mid. It just looks beautiful. Just the timings that they found there. And however, though, you know, on the CT side, they're coming off the worst of it. They are crippled, economically speaking, and we all know how bad that feels on a map like Dust 2. So this is a great chance for MIBR to really claim some momentum.
Yeah, 100%, right? This is a very, very tricky map. To get away with anything on like these pistol rounds, I mean, a vanilla pistol round, you know, you're basically just screwed anyway. But even if you buy into this with like Deegs or whatever, it can be tricky to really find anything because of all these very long angles. Now, the bomb's been left over towards the long doors, but it looks like they are dispatching bolts to go ahead and deal with that. While the rest of MIBR walk into A. Now, look at this. Rain in with a chance. Does a lot of damage, at least. Softens them up for his teammates. Still an MIBR round. Definitely about to go down. Brokey may be able to get out with a gun. But off the top of my head, they're both dropped at the crossroads. So, yeah, there's no way he's getting his hands on one of them. Yeah, an all right bit of damage. The fact that Rain goes unchecked, it's a shame, right? Hitting players in the back of the head. He gets the little dink animation and then tries to finish it off and then gets domed from Catwalk. Although he is looking really good to open up this this game. You know, he's given us some nice moments in a few of these rounds. It was him looking good in the pistol. He delivered again. Actually, just with pistols. Rain with pistols is great, man. He's a real treat to watch.
Yeah, definitely. There's been so many moments. I think the one that springs to mind the most for me with Rain is always going to be that P250 like series of headshots that he got on Inferno. Yeah, from Arch. From I think on the E-League Premier was something or others. one of those. But yeah,
dude. No, I remember that, and it's like one of those great P250 clips where it is just like clean headshots on fully bought players as they're trying to trade you. Oh, it was beautiful.
It's kind of crazy thinking about his. It's just like just looking at the history on this team. It's really amazing that you have all these players playing still. It's almost like I feel like in terms of Western esports, it feels almost like in some extent untrodden territory where we've had these players that haven't just been playing professionally for a long time now, but they've also been a part of enormous moments, but at the same time they've been playing the game forever. Like there's huge names on this team. It's really amazing to see them all still at it, and I hope that we see all these names in 10 years time too.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, the only thing that kind of sucks about that whole story is it would be even sweeter if this was a team that was like consistently finding success, right? But it felt like there was always something in the way of FaZe, and it's like even if you think all the way back to like the Carrigan and Nico era when they were both in the team, you know, they were like poised on the edge of being best in the world for so long. But never able to take it. And, you know, like the E-League Boston major actually kind of encapsulates that sentiment to a T, doesn't it, right? Like it was their major to win. They're on 15, ends up slipping away from them, and NA get their first major title. It was incredible, like from a storyline perspective, but it was just like another so close for FaZe, but not quite close enough. And you think, like, with all these legends, with all these tenured players in a squad, it would only be a matter of time till they find something that works. And so, you know, you hope that when we get some more info as to what's going on with a fifth man, or if Olaf is sticking around for a bit, because I don't think he's going to, right? That was kind of the vibe that we got when they brought him back in. I'm really curious to see what this squad shapes up to be, because I think now more than ever it's a really good mixture of very experienced, tenured individuals, and then you have guys like Brokey thrown in there as like this really promising young talent that clearly works in this system in a way that other players didn't. Guys like BMAS, for example, when he stood in, don't get me wrong, he was all right, but it wasn't anywhere near what we see from him in like Mouse Sports now, whereas Brokey, it was kind of immediate. As they entrusted him with the AWP more and more, he just got better and better. And so I would love to see what the solution is. You know, who are you plugging in as this fifth man? Is it going to be Twists like that report said? I think that would be very exciting, right? Because then you've added to this very tenured experienced roster by bringing in, you know, one of NA's finest. There's a lot of cool possibilities of FaZe. You just want to see them fully realized, really, more than anything.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's really interesting too, because if you look, we have a lot of evidence now to suggest that sort of commonly held notions about players can be kind of flipped on their heads if those players, you know, do the right kind of work. They can completely rejuvenate their careers if they're placed in the right system, or, you know, just having the right mixture of players and surroundings can really make a huge difference. And I think that, you know, we've gone through also a lot of phases of professional Counter-Strike where players have had to go through I wouldn't say they've been forced into a situation, but there's been this status quo of broads, like, you know, you could apply this sense of broads just burnout because there's so many events, constant travel. So even though we have a lot of events still, I think the fact that players can get consistent sleep, they can actually have, you know, a life around, you know, in whatever hometown, you know, they're from, they can actually have a life too. So there's a healthier balance there without so much travel. So that's also an interesting element now that's at play during this lack of you know, LAN events that we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the added time at home, right, kind of gave people a sense of, wow, like I'm somewhere that I never get to be, and now I'm just here. And so a lot of people started to kind of focus on well, what are the effects of me going away so much? And, you know, like the schedule was still packed, so even though you're home, you're not like actually getting to spend all this time with, you know, you can't go see anyone. That's kind of out of the window. You can't, you know, there was just like a lot more kind of inward thinking, it felt like, and people realizing that this might be an ideal time to try and take time off with the game. And we saw that from a lot of teams, you know, like Astralis, I think, being like one of the main ones, right? That everyone was like, oh shit, you know, like you have guys leaving this squad for a bit, taking some time out. That obviously led to Bubsky and S-Tag joining. And look what that's done for guys like S-Tag now being on Cloud9. I think it gives more opportunities to players to, you know, like nurture talent in a sense, and it improves the quality of life for the guys that are on the squad anyway, that have been used to just attending everything.
Dan, have you gone from the white tux to the gold tux? Have you really
exactly
rolled the boat out that far?
We're stepping it up. Yeah, you jealous?
Yeah, very much so. Harry's gone very green for this day. He has pineapples, but they disappear on our green screen, so we've put more green behind it. I can show you what happens if we take it out.
Yeah, go on. Let's give it a little show.
All right.
Make sure it's that one. Yeah.
Boom.
So now look, now I'm like see-through with the sofa. It's kind of, I was thinking though we could put something in here, like a little hidden Easter egg maybe. Oh, that's weird. That's trippy. I'm like a Christmas decoration.
Cool, yeah, I'm digging it. I feel like
I love the gold tux though. I gotta say, man. Where like, so if I were to purchase one of these, do they just stock them on like Amazon or what? Like, can I just get this anywhere, or is it like a special tailor to go to for a suit of this caliber? Dan?
Yeah, I think it's a special tailor. My girlfriend knows more. I didn't really honestly have any part in selecting this, so.
So you just went downstairs, your outfit's picked out for you. You're like, well, game on then. Let's go. It's the gold tux hour.
I have a whole closet full of these. So it's honestly, these are really cool. I'm actually like, at first I'm like, I'm never gonna wear this. I guess I'm never gonna wear this outside of like a broadcast or something. But actually, they're pretty awesome. They're quite hilarious. It's like any conversation you have, I feel like if you can't have a serious conversation with me because well, this is just ridiculous. So
yeah, as opposed to
man,
I have serious conversations.
Whereas like I've gone like really sophisticated. Yeah. Here, man, you're wearing a hoodie, you know, like that's a big no.
Wetsuit. It's a wetsuit.
Oh, okay, fair play.
Trust me, it's James Bond. I promise, in one way or another.
Yeah.
I'll wear a suit later.
I have suits, but they're not very James Bondy. I'm just gonna be honest. They're suits, and he wears suits, so I guess I nailed it in that aspect. But They're a lot more. I know he tries to kind of keep it very sleek, does Bond, and that's a hard style for me to marry against. I kind of, I'm not very discreet in how I try to dress. So, yeah, maybe when the suits come out, things are going to get interesting.
Dan, we were talking a little bit before this game, before we were here, about the MIBR roster and about how, we got to cast the core of this team back in Brazil under Boom, where they were destroying domestically. They lost FNX, they brought in Danico. I don't know, I imagine you're on the same boat as us. You don't know who this player is. We've never casted him before. I have no experience with this guy, but obviously everyone else, pretty big names inside of Brazilian CS. Are you familiar with Danico at all?
No, I think I'm in the same boat as you guys, but super familiar with the core of 4, from Luminosity and so on. But yeah, it's otherwise an unknown quantity, and he's out of the round now, so we don't even have to worry about it.
Well, come back another time. Shiz will trade. Rain is gone, but a man trapped in the pit with a flash. No one's blinded. Cello's going to be boosted to kill him, but Olaf above the smoke spots it. He's still stuck here. It's kind of an awkward position to be in. They're trying to help him out, right? Broky has the orb watching the cross. Kiabi swings, and that's good assistance. Instead of getting him out, just put 2 in there. Then you're just fighting side by side, back to back. No one's getting close. 2 for Kiabi. Great hold as it's forced MIBR back.
Really interesting position, though, because there's lots of time still to work this position. The issue of these lurks, though, could be a problem. You've got coldzera to maybe find a timing. He might see some heads. There we go. And Bolts is not going to be able to be cognizant to that push. And that was a dangerous moment. And unfortunately, that makes life significantly more difficult for Yell. Trying to jiggle into the angle held by Broky, the worst possible weapon to be up against there, on that angle where you can kind of see. It's almost like having like a one-way smoke, you can kind of see the legs first. And especially if you have more distance between you and that angle, you're going to have a massive advantage as a CT. So there we go. That's a great round to collect for FaZe. It does feel like FaZe are constantly causing problems. Even though they're having some issues stabilizing, it kind of feels like to me they may start pulling away.
Yeah, that's what you'd hope, right? That's what you'd expect, especially from players of this caliber and experience. But young and hungry Brazilians never can be discounted.
So Danico, I think is how we said it. He was actually back when Boom, or now MIBR, like the core, were INTZ. Yeah. He was actually a player on the INTZ Academy team. Oh. And if you remember, INTZ then actually dropped or lost their main team that they had, and then they promoted the academy players to the main team for a little stint. And so he was a part of that. So he wasn't on the same team as such, like in the play-in side, but he was a part of the same organization on their academy team, which is a cool kind of, to see him now moved up and playing alongside these people that he was originally in the academy squad for.
Yeah, we've definitely seen academy teams farm really, really good players. And I think they're coming back now as well. There obviously was that period where, obviously having academy teams and main teams in the same tournament, conflict of interest, etc. But I mean, Astralis have picked up an Astralis talent lineup, right? Some young Danish talent. That's awesome to see. And I mean, even talking of that, right, let's look at like North Academy, where players like Gade, for example, came through that and moved to the main roster. Obviously, North, probably not the best example of success.
As well, from Fnatic Academy, right? Yeah. Moved up to the main team.
That's a good point.
Out of all of them, he was kind of the biggest success story there, it feels like.
Definitely. So we know they work. Donico's here right now, and MIBR, they're going to be run boosting him. Not the most stylishly into the A site. He kind of falls out of the sky. Rain with the spray. Bomb dropped. They got to go back for it. The rifle is deep, and Shiz gone 6 feet under to the AWP. Broky this is his breeding ground right now. Dust too long. He is going to have a lot of fun here. As MIBR look for a pick that's just not getting given their way. Nice shot by Yell.
Yeah, look, again, seemed like FaZe very prepared for this. Nice shot from Bolts. However, they don't need to peek. He has to go to them. The bomb is down on the ground, and unless FaZe, get a little cocky and break formation, they don't have to peek at all. They can force him very, very deep to pick up the bomb, which he has to do. Otherwise, the time runs out, as we've seen. And looking for that kill off time, won't get it. That's brilliant, though. I am surprised that FaZe are struggling to stabilize, because it does really feel like they are quite prepared in a lot of these rounds to deal with what's coming. And I'm still going to say that they're going to start pulling away at some point. It just feels like that's going to happen. Maybe now's the time.
Yeah, let's see. Let's find out. This would be a good round to do it, right? Full eco with the saved AK. And bye-bye. In lower is a player. I don't know if they quite caught that cold. Always going to get checked. Bolts is ready. Nice clear there. Almost flicks through the door and kills Brokey. That would have been bonkers, but dodged for now. Still a gun given over as well. That's a big pickup for MIBR, although armorless is still doubling their weaponry in this round. Flashing through the doors and grouping for a B hit.
Oh, they just run straight in, and the pace has blindsided FaZe. Brokey, actually the man to get the kill, but he was brought down very, very low in the process. So this B site now locked in for MIBR. FaZe, do they want to give this a go? It's a 2-on-3, it's armorless players, so you hope they can get back into it. But already this is a good round for MIBR. It could be about to get even sweeter if somehow they get this one past the keeper. Ooh, AK onto Danico. Flashing through the window, but it's dodged by Cello. And so together they're able to lock that in. That is a hero AK round for MIBR. That's pretty much the only thing they had invested into it. Was that rifle on bolts.
Guys, why Colby pushing though? And against the full eco. It's very surprising to see such a great risk taken on a round that's very easy to predict and prepare for. And that's caused a lot of problems. That extra rifle going into the round really made all the difference. And now, once again, FaZe are unable to stabilize. As you said, that was the round to really do it. And their economy is just really ruined after that. And they're force buying. And that previous round, they had I think that was maybe like the first proper full buy they've had. And they may not see another one for quite a while. And on Dust 2 on the CT side, what a scary prospect to be in that position. And I mean, FaZe Clan are amazing at hero shenanigans, but you don't want to have to rely on that.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's a kicker of a round to lose for FaZe. I think we want to pick up the pieces. 2 guns to do it. Brokey doesn't even have armor behind his scout. Kebby on a rifle, but pistols elsewhere, and MIBR grouping 5 on the cat side. Rain caught as they walk the smoke. Brokey looking for headshots and nothing less. Tag to Danico finishes the job, but they are crossing, they are getting closer, and he can't really see thanks to the fire dropped on his sight. Nade to follow. Brokey anymore. Kebby's found a kill. This could still be won by FaZe on the eco, but Bolts and Yell stabilize with a frag apiece and put things up a man.
Yeah, it's looking quite good for MIBR to just close this one down now. I totally agree. Looking really scary, and you never want to ever count out the FaZe players, especially if they've got PT50s and Deagles, but looks like it should be good to go from this point forward. And I wonder, you know, how this game is what the complexion will be like now. It's been really messy. But it seems like MIBR, instead of FaZe, who we initially thought would take control, it may instead be the Brazilians. So, you know, good on them for staying composed. Very awkward situation. One would expect, you know, it is Dust 2 is a map where, you know, especially if you're able to pick up that pistol on the T side, it is a map where you can really dominate, and FaZe, you know, they have all of the players to of course really dominate. In theory, on paper, this should be a great map for them. But you don't want to be starting off having to do that. So we'll see if they can find something off of these rifles they've collected from the previous rounds. Not much doing so far.
Ooh, little smoke drop there to try and get them up onto the Xbox. Kirby. Ooh, he hears it. He sprays and has done good damage, but it's not the killing blow that they wanted. Now they know that this cat play is looking to come through. They've got all the info. There's still plenty of time here for MIBR, so they don't have to commit to the catwalk play if they don't want to. And they do still have a man floating down in the lower tunnels. That's Bolts, right? Waiting to see if any aggression comes through from that B bomb site. And most importantly, he's keeping the options open to MIBR. The fact that they've got all this utility as well is great for them to switch this up on the fly. And yeah, they're just trying to feign this cat play now with the real focus coming in into mid with Bolts splitting through the upper tunnels. That molly will give it all away, and at this point, FaZe know that this was geared up to go towards that B bomb site. They've got a couple of kills. Kirby's wrapped all the way through long, but he gets beheaded by Cello on the AWP. They're in the bomb site, but that nade could be brutal. Yell brought down low. It's not the kill that was needed, and now in a 3-on-3, armorless rifles into this retake. It will just be the save. Look at Cello trying to hunt these saving players down. This is ballsy. Doesn't want to give the AWP over. Perhaps lucky for him, they've kind of eluded him.
It almost feels as though FaZe is playing better in these rounds when they're really on the back foot and that they're way more focused. Oh, so much damage. That's it, 7 rounds for MIBR. It's really shaping up now for them this first half. And it is difficult on the CT side of Dust 2. It's really hard to take initiative compared to some of the other maps where you get a lot more options. But here we go. A really good buy from FaZe overall. Just Brokey lacking a few grenades, but otherwise they got everything they need. AWP included. Very default start here.
Yell's got the open B's, hoping for a kill to come his way. Not really much team behind him to commit if he does get it, but MIBR grouping now. Xbox smoke coming in from spawn. Bomb going towards B. Cello lurking long. FaZe at least playing passive enough that they're not offering up any kills to this AWP right. Kiemi does know it's here. He might see it on that jump, but hasn't rung out yet. MIBR just going to explode here. Kiemi's got a lot to do. Nade could be massive. It's gone in deep, though. They're already up ahead of it. It's done some damage. Smoke dropped. He's hit the timing perfectly on his utility. Can he hold the line, though? Cole's been forced out of the sight by the smoke. Kiemi dead in the water. And Donaco with another entry. It's dominant for MIBR. First kill coming in for Rain. But I don't know how realistic this round is. Olaf is so far away, and he's not getting any closer. Shallow's even looking to kill these saving players. And, ooh, he's gone back to long, and they've just come up mid. Either way, he's still trapped them in here.
Maybe a kill to be had. Or maybe they'll lose all their guns. They really need to keep everything. And, oh, Cello, I don't know if he spotted that. Oh!
Flick.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. That's nasty, and that's a problem. Again, it would have been amazing for them to keep all 3 guns alive, but I love the call from MIBR. You know, they start off default, FaZe playing a little more scared, or maybe passive would be a better word, perhaps because some of the pushes they've done in the previous gun rounds have gone really poorly for them, so they're in this more passive default state, and it starts off with a slow pace, and then MIBR, you know, collect themselves for like an all-out sort of B, just rush straight through the tons. And that really caught FaZe off guard, and especially when you're in a situation when you're against like a full buy, that can be really rough because it isolates 3 players. Like if you don't get a good defense, then it can just look like that. You just lose the game and 3 players didn't even take part. So, or the round, I should say, not the game.
Oh. Oh, they're both boosting. Is that going to be a problem? Like they see Brokey's feet. They take a shot and he drops it. MIBR's default out of the gate has been really good. They've been aware of everything FaZe have tried to do, right? From these cap boosts constantly to cold pushing lower in that one eco. FaZe have not been able to gain really any early ground or picks in this game. And that's thanks to MIBR being very aware of the map. Resmoking the doors. Keeps MIBR slow and steady. That's exactly how they want to play right now. Getting up the catwalk as well. Very methodical T-side, and it's going to get better. That molly traps in Olof. Oh, it might spread. If it does, he's dead. He's got no smoke for it, and there's the spread. Last second, you hate to see it, but he actually gets out alive. His teammate threw in a deep molly that forced Cello out of long, or Shiz rather. And so he will live to fight another day. Cat play instead for MIBR at the 30-second mark.
Well, this is looking really good in terms of the positioning here onto that B side. The push is coming through CT already. Oh, that's unfortunate. Danico unable to hold off any of these defenders trying to rotate through CT. And looks like the B defense is actually doing a decent job in delaying. That's going to be some assistance now coming in from that A site. And indeed, all of Mice are able to take down Yell. That's the bomb down on the ground by the doors of B. And Volts has got no friends left to help.
That's a great read, like great awareness from FaZe in terms of MIBR for a second looking like they wanted to split A, but Olof gets out along alive. He calls that's not coming through, and then they see, or they see the smokes and flashes over Cat, and whoever makes the call, don't know who, but they flash into spawn and even hunt down Danico. That's the player sat in CT trying to cut off rotations from A, winning the round essentially in the post plant, but well, with him dead, and then with Kiebi and Cold both getting a killer piece inner on the B site, there's no way back in for MIBR, so another round for FaZe, a much needed one. Cold up to his usual tricks, and he's got an AWP to do it as well. In lower, crying out loud. That is just bold, but no one's there to punish him. MIBR are 4 long.
That is really bold. You gotta love it. It looks like MIBR are just gonna slow roll this A site, and they're already down a player, and they have a good chunk of utility, and there's no Molotovs on FaZe, and the Molotovs can be really, really powerful in situations like this, because if you're able to delay the plant, you know, a good 14, 15 seconds with those mollies, it can really just crush the T efforts. But MIBR, again, being down a player, this will be difficult. We'll see if they can do it, though.
Rain forced into those CT gunfights. And not to his favor. Danico going over this smoke. Just misses the timing, but he senses Cold's error. On the other side of that smoke, he's dropped out of the round, and this might have to be a save for FaZe. You don't ever want to do it, not at this scoreline. They're still interested in giving this even a little look in, but nothing's being made available to them yet, and Olof is already kind of conceding this short position. Kiebi deep up through CT. And now he's in this horrible point of limbo where, like, yeah, he's pretty committed, so he does want to hang around, he does want to go for it, doesn't want to die trying to run away. Gets that one kill and now gets out of there. There is the AWP dropped here. It looks like he's been made aware of now because he's trying to pick it up. Smoke down, and that should give him the veil to grab that orb. Bomb might even blow it his way a little bit more just to help out. MIBR up onto 9. And I've got to say, I love this MIBR pickup because, like, you know, when you think about the individuals on this squad, right? These guys have both been competing together for a long while, right? Like, obviously, Bar Danico has been added in. And then on top of that, even when they haven't been playing together, when, like, teams in the past, like Luminosity and stuff, have gone their separate ways and you've had that division, that they've always been up at the top levels of Counter-Strike or in the South American region. And it does feel like, especially when they were on Boom most recently, the thing that was holding them back was the lack of international exposure, right? The lack of playing versus top teams in an international setting, obviously, when everything did become very region-locked. And so I think for a team, you know, to represent MIBR, where you're going to struggle to find any kind of, like, team of Brazilian players that might deserve it as much as this, who have been around those upper echelons for so damn long now.
Yeah, when a team is destroying in a local region that isn't one of the main two in like Europe or NA, you always want to see them go abroad and face top-tier opposition. Well, that was certainly the case. They were barely losing maps in Brazil, but on top of that, these players are already proven at the top level, so we know they can do it. There's no question about it. And here they are, beating up on FaZe, looking for double digits at the end of the half. It might be within reach. 3-on-3, Brokey alone. He's being pinched from long and short. Can he try and find a quick kill? Oh, he's over to Cat. Right now, the AWP is posted. A nice shot from Brokey, beasting on the A-bomb site with that AWP. And that will save FaZe's bacon. 6.5, but still down by 3. Can they recover on MIBR's map pick? You'll have to wait and see. Join us in just a sec.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. It's FaZe Clan taking on MIBR, and right now MIBR find themselves in the lead at 9-6. Now beginning the CT pistol phase. We often say there's a great set of pistol players on this team. We're looking at Rain really to try and do something spectacular here. Olaf donning the utility and another smoke. This is screaming that this could be one of these long commitments. You got the 2 smokes to make that crossing happen. But right now, they went out long. They didn't get given a fight, and now they're like, that's not what we thought was going to happen. They start to cross back over here in middle, heading over here towards B. And you'll note that the 2 players they leave behind is Olaf with that smoke. And also coldzera alongside him. So they're going to be able to throw the cross smokes. I'm assuming this is all meant to be a fake, right? You know, if you're playing Dust and you see those 2 smokes land at the cross, you hear players moving up, you're going to read into that as the A player, especially in the pistol. Like, no one's going to be throwing this kind of fake your way in the pistol round, or at least that's what you're hoping MIBR tell themselves if they're a FaZe fan. However, they spot the players getting in towards B, and now the rotations are coming in. This is where we need FaZe to be pretty flawless in this B execute, because they're going to be outnumbered here on this push. And that there is the bomb getting dropped. That is the polar opposite of what we needed. Suddenly these players that were selling the fake are having to come in and mop up these rotations from MIBR. Not going to be easy, but Olaf makes it look that way. Danico not ready for the player back in T-spawn, and that's coldzera. Ready to slip the knife in the back. Oh, tap down. Don't want to let him get a second, and Cold will come in and save the day just in time, but there's no time for the plant. Bolts, he just needs to stay alive, but he's right in the sight. He's not made it easy for himself. He's dropped the bomb, and he's hidden away. That is a disaster for FaZe. My, oh my. Oh, it's all gone wrong for FaZe Clan. How has that happened to them? How have they managed that? Bolts snatching it away, and Heartbreak Hotel for FaZe.
It seems, I mean, there seems to be a lot of these moments actually for FaZe in this Dust too. It really doesn't seem like Lady Luck is with them right now. That said, not taking anything away from MIBR, they're doing a really good job. Like, capitalizing massively on all these opportunities, and it's up to FaZe to find a way to answer back. They are on the T side. I feel like that's a significant thing that's working in their favor in this position. However, we've got this force buy, and again, typically the most common way you'd often play this is that that cat play. Start off in a slow default, catch any shenanigans from the CT side, and then you can just go for what should be a somewhat guaranteed cat plant. The CTs don't normally want to directly challenge you around cat to stop that, so you can kind of use the cover of smokes, get that plant down. Maybe if you get the entry, there might even be a chance to win the round. So looks like indeed that's what they're going for. And you can see that MIBR already anticipate this. They've got a good setup to help themselves deal with it.
Yeah, corner smoke denies a lot of info. MIBR go back to the site, so they go back to the fight as FaZe are going to fall into the spawn. Chasing his Rain, somehow nailing Yell to the wall. Good trade work, but FaZe is still making this interesting with the pistols, and Cold is coming in on a mid flank. Shuz, does he check it? Oh, the tech lets him down, and the jump, denying the plant with seconds to spare. Oh, Donico dancing to victory lane. 11-6, and that was a very nice try for FaZe. Couple of, very close fights. If Cole kills the lower player, if the bomb goes down, it was during the planting animation, during the end of it as well. One more missed jump for Danico rather, and it would have probably been a plant. Nice try for FaZe, but full eco now. It's just Deegs. And MIBR, they are stealing this map away right now. It's very dominant. if they win their first gun round of this half as well, that could be a problem.
Yeah, we've got, you know, great performances so far on the scoreboard, at least, from Danico, Cello, and Bolts. And I feel like Yell might get into the picture in a really big way on this second half on the CT side, bring out the AWP, and, you know, he can do a lot with that. And I'm curious to see if he's going to try to take some liberties, or, you know, if the approach with the team is going to be to, you know, just play more passively and more reactively against FaZe. We'll see how FaZe sets the pace when they start some of these gun rounds, but they won't have too many gun rounds to work with. So nice kill from Rain, but it looks like MIBR will be able to clean up this action around mid. Or although they have lost 2 players, 2 remaining, now just 2 who are very, very low. Sorry, Cello's very low. This is scary now.
Oh, close, but not quite. It's another round for MIBR, albeit maybe too uncomfortable than they want, or more uncomfortable than they wanted, but a round is a round nonetheless, and they lose SMGs to upgrade to rifles. AWP for Yell. FaZe's first full by the half. And it's like now or never for FaZe, really, right? Like, you lose this going round, you're back to pistols, next thing you know, it's 14-6, and really that's close to GG, at least for MIBR's pick. FaZe, time to come alive. Only 1 man at B. That's not knowledge FaZe have.
Oh, there's a timing here for FaZe actually to get that B split on. MIBR have played 4 players towards the A side of the map right now. They don't have info mid. Look how deep Brokey is, and they had no idea that so much progress had been made in mid. And now here comes that reaction. The B split, the smokes and Molotovs drop to prevent help. To now what is just a lonely Cello on the site, and he is stuck between 2 angles, and there's no way out of that one. And speaking of which, MIBR, there may be no way out of this situation as they fall back to save their guns, and they've just simply been outmaneuvered. FaZe hit a timing, their pacing was perfect for what MIBR were doing.
Yeah, good to see a strong first rifle, right, coming through from FaZe. It's kind of what they needed, especially after how this half started. If they do want to recover, they want a bit more like that. It's going to be 3 players saving for MIBR at least. You know, at least gives them the chance to reinvest in this following round. It does very much hinge on keeping these 3 players alive. Cello can by himself, Yell can drop one over, and that's how they're going to have to cobble the buy together. But they'll have everything they need, right? They'll have rifles on everyone. You know, they'll get utility repurchased up on the players that aren't dropping. So it's not the end of the world losing the B site in that fashion. At least not when it only happens once. If that's something that FaZe are able to go back to and do reliably, then it's going to cause some problems for the MIBR squad. But no worries yet. 5 rounds between these 2 teams. We're right back into it. Yell donning this AWP. Pretty quiet from him so far. Olaf trying to peek mid while the B rush is coming in. Yell, now's the time. Now's the time to step up with this AWP. Cello in with the first, but they're already up and past him. Cello putting bodies in bags, and there's the response. Coldzera and Rain, a killer piece. Leaves this in a 3-on-3, and this is the kind of round that MIBR now want to attempt.
Still have to wait for that long wrap through spawn. Shiz is on the way, but lots of use for FaZe. It wasn't an early take, so they still have mollies and smokes to disperse. Another smoke in the door for Rain could be big in a few seconds, and it will come down. MIBR, they are running out of time. Bomb half ticked. Flash and smoke in. Olaf with a timing shot that won't work. Shiz keeping up the attention and the pressure by spamming this smoke. The window push denied, and this might be a time to throw in the towel. Get out of here with your guns. Bolts is surely dead. Hunted, but he wins his battle. Can't escape the second, and Shiz to save. It's a round for FaZe. They could hide at the car. No need to hunt him. And back-to-back B plays that work wonders for FaZe to get them on this T side. The question is, that's all we've seen from FaZe now. Is it, you know, can they get away with it again? Or are they going to show us a little bit more here? I guess the conditioning has already started, right? You're hoping that MIBR start to put more defense towards B, and hopefully you can start to take long spawns and get these cat splits off. But We'll see if FaZe want to just keep running it back.
Yeah, and I think you're absolutely right with that one. Like, they have the opportunity to really start conditioning MIBR into interfering in the B play, investing more, maybe forcing them to play more risky for information. However, this is just the eco, so there's only so honestly this map is maybe it feels like the most hopeless map for an eco. The CT side of Dust 2 against a 4x. It's just, what do you do? Like, you got all these long ranges. There's not many corners to play off of with your teammates. It's very difficult.
Oh, nice boost. But A is lost in the process. Zeus is not going to get any action by the looks. And no. Roki cleans it up. Nice and easy for FaZe, up to 9. Flawless since they brought those AKs out. But here comes the guns for MIBR. FaZe keep getting these B spawns, man. They got another one right now.
One thing with regards to this as well is that MIBR could take a couple options, and it may be wise to, if they really feel like there's going to be all this B focus, to try to put more investment towards towards Catwalk as well at the beginning of the round. But one of the things that's great about how FaZe are playing, as you can see, is that they're defaulting out, so you really don't know what's going on here. Beautiful lower dark aggression though. And that's going to get some information. However, the cost is huge. If FaZe play this well, they've got a minute and a half to play this advantage. Pressuring long, forcing MIBR off. There's 2 players of the 3 that remain here. And this might be MIBR back in the game if they can find more frags from this position. But it looks like Yell can't eke out that extra kill that could make all the difference. But Bolts, he's created a 1v1, and it's not going to work out for him, unfortunately. But that was a noble attempt. FaZe looking quite bullish there on that A-bomb site, and back into a save round.
Yeah, it's a shame. There was some awkward moments in that round there, right? Danico goes for the lower dark aggression, and Rain actually jumps over his head, but Danico never realized that. Rain also didn't know, but it ended up helping out FaZe and getting that trade without him getting away with, like getting multi-kill potential through lower when it was definitely there. And then the flash at long leads to Yell team killing his mate that was there to back him up. So a few kind of unfortunate rolls of the dice in that round for MIBR. But it's kept FaZe moving forward. Now they need solutions, because, you know, in the beginning when FaZe were getting a couple of rounds, you weren't worried yet. MIBR still with this nice healthy lead. They still had money. Now all that's gone, right? The money's out of there. You're in this situation that we talk about kind of daily at this point, but it is important to mention, where, you know, every round that you're losing CT side, you're either saving and then like cobbling a buy together, or you're losing too many players where like a save doesn't actually facilitate a buy, and so then you're partial buying around like 1 or 2 rifles, and that's pretty awful. It can start to feel like every T round that they earn versus rifles is like a 2-for-1. So you really need to get out of this kind of situation if you're MIBR. The Eagles finding a kill, but that's the extent of it. coldzera and Kierby both putting in numbers, both putting in work, leave it all on Cello. And so FaZe are moving on to 11, whether MIBR like it or not. But this was just Deegs, and at least the big guns are coming out once again in the next round.
Big buy is coming up. MIBR need to take back control. What do you want to see, Hugo? What do you want to see them do?
Oh, well, I hope they have the open Yell, right? He could be a solution potentially to the long plays. I like that FaZe have moved away from just hitting B early, right? That was the start of the half. MIBR getting a bit conditioned. Now we're seeing some more variety. but I don't think anything crazy for MIBR like aggro moves is really going to be the answer. That's actually what dug FaZe really the hole in their first CT side anyway, from players pushing lower to players boosting cat and getting picked. So I don't know, like post the AWP up on long, try and take that long control, get 3 players in, your flashes, your mollies, cross a player to the pit, and yeah, 2 towards B. So standard stuff for MIBR. Long isn't contested. FaZe do get cat, and they're going very quick as well. This could be a nice little pace. Shuz has dropped lower to watch mid, and well, the AWP has been dragged into B. So it's not really going to be able to put a stop to this play. This could be a problem.
Oh, chunky little nade. And FaZe, they throw in all this utility, but now they go back. Now they head in towards the bottom of mid, trying to split this B bomb site. Danico going to get the information at the very, very least, and now we need to see the adjustments from MIBR. They have to start rotating players down. Mid is smoked, but they can get there. They can be ready to retake. Danico not up to the task of holding on to B. And MIBR, they actually decided to save very, very early on in that round. You know, we still had Danico fighting over in the B site, but the round was actually already decided. Like, he would have had to have done something unreal to tempt MIBR back into that. They had their player that pushed the long doors. He was just kind of hanging out over towards T-spawn, gone down now, of course. And then the other 2 players from MIBR, they didn't leave Crossroads. They actually just kind of started to migrate over towards Long, so they decided to save a long while ago. As Danico was just fed to the wolves, seeing what he can get away with. And the answer's not much. FaZe onto 12, tying this game up. And now it gets real interesting, right? Because now it's FaZe setting the pace. It's them getting comfortable. MIBR are the ones having to come up with solutions thus far. They haven't been able to figure anything out. I do think this AWP on Yell is gonna have to deliver a little bit more. I think he can be the difference maker. We've seen it from him time and time again. And you know, on a map like this, especially when you've got Brokey on the other side looking good whenever he's wielding the AWP, you do feel that lack of AWPing presence right now for the MIBR side of things.
Yeah, it's something. Well, they're in a difficult position, especially having lost that 3rd player that was saving. It's such a big difference saving 2 guns as opposed to 3, and also the fact that they don't have the funds to get the AWP in the picture. That was definitely the AWP is a great way to make plays. The AWP is a weapon that, you know, it specializes in, you know, finding untradeable kills. You can take really long angles, like have a quick pop flash play. You know, there's lots of setups that are much lower risk than with the rifles in terms of finding that pick against the T side default in the early to mid rounds. And to not have that option has been pretty crippling for MIBR thus far, as FaZe has, you know, out of their default pretty much had what they want on the map. You know, whether it's, you know, control of cat, long, you know, all of the typical spots, and MIBR haven't had too much of a say. So I feel like that lack of AWP on Yell and the lack of being able to take initiative with it is causing issues. And FaZe are just settling really nicely into these T-sided defaults. They found some great, you know, changes of pace when needed as well to you know, catch MIBR off guard as well. It's just all looking really smooth. And they're quite cognizant of the economic situation of MIBR right now. You can see they're playing quite cautiously. Again, it's a slow default. Finally taking cat control. They've got a couple players outside of long. They actually do need to clear the long house, but once they've done that, the A split is an open possibility for them.
Yeah, they did just miss a long molly, so Cold has to clear the doors out manually, but that's fine. Bolt's spotting, cat smoke's already down, he's going to try and nade. Rain walks through with minimal damage taken. Yell has the cross, finally at the right place at the right time, but he's being split from 2 sides. Cat and long, and a missed shot from the scout. It's only Shuz in the pit, and he can't do much either. So FaZe, again, taking another round by the looks of things. 2 pistols to hold on to. And this has been so good. Ever since they've hit guns, they have not stopped. And they just cannot be stopped. Great D kill, but it won't mean a thing as FaZe almost guarantee a 13th round and the lead right back. They haven't had the lead since they were 1-0 up at the start of this map. So it's been quite the map so far for MIBR, and quite the comeback for FaZe. Now take 13-12.
And yeah, I mean, you know, we were talking about AWPers, like, you know, to see just how big that disparity is. Brokey is being such a difference maker for FaZe, you know, not just in the presence that his AWP is providing in terms of netting these opening kills, in terms of you know, like creating space for the rest of the team, but even thinking back to that first half and here in the second, he's so good in these like 1v1, 1v2, like clutch scenarios where you just have to hit your shot, you just have to read it well and navigate those situations appropriately. Man, he looks right at home in that. He's been delivering so much, but he is the first man to fall in this round, and so that there is some good news for MIBR. And as I was saying, like, you know, to draw the comparison, while you got Brokey up top of the board, almost dropping 30, Yelzorp on the other side has like 8 kills or something ridiculous. So very, very big disparity there.
Yeah, and it's something you can definitely be more forgiving of after that first half. But yeah, Yell needs to find his footing, and he needs to do it right now. This would be a great spot to do it. However, the push is going to be coming in through mid. They will smoke Yell off, so it's unlikely he'll get any picks through that smoke. We'll have to see. But push will come through into the B defense. However, unfortunately for FaZe, MIBR have a good pace to this. They have position. However, looks like Kirby will find bolts, which is a pretty big frag. However, they're kind of stuck outside the B site at this point, and the bomb is alone in the tons, so they're struggling to find a way to get onto that plant. 30 seconds, they can reset here. They're actually able to with that smoke that's on the CT ramp. They could try to get out of these positions, but it is going to, in fact, just be cold. Up catwalk by himself, 20 seconds. He has no choice but to charge down the site. And he's got to get the correct guess here. There is a CT here somewhere. He knows it, but he's got to figure it out very quickly. And unfortunately, he might not have time for this. He's going to commit to the plant. Yell shot another shot. He might actually get the bomb down. There's a chance here for coldzera now, and he gets the headshot. That is not supposed to happen. Yell is having an awful game, and it's such a heartbreak for him. But for coldzera, it could be a huge moment for FaZe.
Oh, Cole trying to show these Brazilian boys how it's done back in his time. There's the flick to long. Missed shot first time around. The Deegs are in. And it's so damn close. But Danico there at the very, very end, just able to keep that belonging to MIBR. Mad, cold, I don't know, you could feel it right, Dad. I could tell you were feeling it, man. You were believing. That looked like it was going to happen. That looked like coldzera was about to do it to him. And yeah, from Yell, right, there's kind of what we're talking about. Like, this was just ugly. You know, missed shot there, all right, you can't hit every shot. That's forgivable. But then letting them stick the bomb plant with so little time left, you know, acting like, okay, I don't want to give the kill away. But also kind of understandable, but then peeking in once the bomb is down. You know, it's one of those moments where you can almost feel the frustration, right? Yell's saying like, yeah, I know that wasn't right. I want to just get this locked in, and he couldn't. Now we have this rush into B. Good damage from Cello, and there's Yell finally with the step up. Collateral on the AWP. He's cut down this offensive and another. Talk about an immediate redemption arc for Yell, right? From almost throwing away that previous round to saving this one. And that's a bit more of an insight into what we're expecting from him. Usually he delivers to such a good level. And so a bit more like that might make things way easier for MIBR.
Nice, and just like that, his kills increased by 50%, and that's huge. That it really is. I completely agree. I think that previous round where it looked like he was in two minds, sort of hesitant, caught completely off guard by coldzera. This is the perfect way to just not allow that to really fester in your mind and grow into a larger problem mentally. And boom, straight back in it. Feels good. They have taken the lead, although it is a the slimmest of margins. It is still a lead, and they have weapons. Their economy, not great, but they're able to cobble together this round. Oh, no. Oh, this is right there by Blue. Not discovered. The trade is through, at least. He only gets one, and that is for FaZe. That's probably best case scenario, given that they did not even check his spot.
You wonder if he waited a few more seconds, he's probably dead to Kirby and doesn't get anything, right? Like, it's very, very key. He takes that first kill instead of stalling it any longer. But oh my, what a mess The flash is leaving everyone worse for wear. 4-on-4. MIBR out of the B site right now, fighting 2 in middle, but keeping their eyes on it. Yell with the AWP car. Like I said, bit of a recovery in this last couple of rounds, so this could be his time. FaZe aren't budging though, they've posted. Seeing if Olof can find much value off of his lurk right now. He can jump up Cat if he wants. Smoked across into the pit. The AWP can now fight the site. Or smoke the cross here as well. There's plenty of easy lineups from the back of pit. MIBR aren't moving off of B either. 2-2 split right now. They've seen nothing. They know that FaZe could have hit timing through spawn and come back to B, but that doesn't look like the play, and Yell's about to figure out the hard way.
Oh, that is just gross there. Straight in Yell's face. Adding insult to injury. They'll charge up the ramp. It's Bolts who's got to defend here. That's a great defense so far. 2 quick kills. Makes it effortless. And now it's down to Brokey. Oh, that's a nice flick, but that's all it will be for FaZe. 15-13. MIBR looking like they're finding their feet right at the last possible second. And I love what FaZe did there. They cut noise. They made it so that after all the A pressure, if there was an extra rotate onto that A site, that they would have gone, causing that doubt that they would have rotated off. They really set themselves up for success. But that 2K from Bolts, that was everything.
Yeah, even with Yell getting domed as well. Not a worry, not a problem. Map point for MIBR on their pick as well. Inferno is next. FaZe, they don't want to go out with a whimper here. They're pulling things back with a really good T side. Going quiet right at the end would be, well, the end. Similar setup again for MIBR. Still 2 inside of B. They know what haunted them in the start of this half. Those heavy-handed B plays from FaZe. Grouping on Cat, though, with a long lurk in this round. Ooh, double Molotov coming down for the short side. Rain even eats an HE. So, good damage done by MIBR with no risk taken. Yell is here with the AWP. And a minute on the clock. Even Olof leaving on the B lurk now. So this is going to be FaZe. 5-man taking A. Cold has a lot to do here on this long lurk. It's all down to whether he wants to sell it and be loud and draw the attention over, or if he wants to come in late with a backstab. He is being loud about it. Olof is with him now, and they need to check Shiz, who's on his own.
Yeah, this Shiz engagement here could be the thing that kind of makes or breaks this round for FaZe. They need it, and they don't get it. The trade doesn't come in either. Olof is waiting patiently with the backstab, and there it is. While that's happened, the A site falls into the hands of FaZe. Aniko and Cello left up. Now just Cello. And all he is the sound of silence right now. As this round slipped by the wayside, he's got to fall back and hold on to this AK. 14 for FaZe. Overtime now on the cards. And a player even wrapping in through T-spawn. Cello, it's not safe, mate. Gun out, shot in the back, and there it is. Olof reaping the reward of that late long play.
I love the mega bait there from Olof. That was actually genius. It may look like he is just a massive beta there, but like not trying to just swing and trade that kill. But I love it because if you look at it, this obviously the sense of urgency to try to help the site after that frag and not seeing that immediate trade gives Olof the free kill. So it is just a late trade. It's that's really cool. I mean, I'm sure that must, like, he has the experience, and that's just something that he just read. So yeah, really cool to see stuff like that, and it does look like we're going to be in for potentially quite a ride here. I don't know how this is going to end up at this point. It feels like MIBR started to find their footing, but FaZe also looking like they're getting some success again on this T side. They've created a scenario where MIBR don't have the weaponry they need to defend here. So it seems like, you know, the writing's on the wall that we're going to overtime, but we'll have to see what MIBR decide to do with this terrible buy.
Yeah, and FaZe are spamming the mid doors as well, which really doesn't help. Rain even bought a scout just to shoot through the smoke. Look at the upper push. There's 2 players. There's 4 in the tunnels. Kiabi holding on, deals with one of them. Olaf in the spawn has a great position to find more, and they don't even see the other 2. Now, is that a bait for FaZe? Do they run in expectation that B is clear, or at least undefended? Kiabi's fiddling with nades, and he gets taken down, and now they realize, okay, B wasn't free. It was by design. It was a bait. That kill could have been everything for Yell, but he's had to escape and run from this AWP of Brokey, posted once again and dropping once more. Yell, so many opportunities and nothing to show from it. He's getting split by Long now. They actually could have easily killed him, caught in the open there with a scout, but instead they smoked across, playing it safe and playing for the plant. With a man up, FaZe are doing it right now, and OT certainly looks likely.
Yeah, MIBR not wanting to take any of those straight up fights, you know, not wanting to dig this hole deeper, but in doing so, they give up the A site. And it all falls onto Yell in the 1v3. Really not looking good for him. FaZe about to get it over the line to overtime as we roll this clock back again. We got some little bonus rounds tacked on at the very, very end. That's 2. Just keeps on going. And it's FaZe hauling their way back into the game. You know, on the back foot throughout the majority of this game so far, able to finally get into the lead in this second half, and then kind of back and forth for a while with MIBR reaching 15. FaZe able to get us to overtime, and now things really heat up. There's these AWPs firing off. Cold Zera with the long spawn. Good for the opener. Man down now for MIBR, and FaZe rerouting all the way back through T-spawn, ready to hit this B bomb site.
Danico looks poised and ready. He needs to be. He's alone right now. This is going to be very difficult. Trying to use the smoke there to keep himself safe. Oh, shiz! Straight from the doors. Great angle found. And that makes all the difference here. Danico still holding on at the back of the site. They haven't dealt with him yet, thanks to Shiz's efforts. And for the first round of overtime here, it's looking fantastic for MIBR. Olaf needs a really crazy result here, but it's not going to happen. Just totally shut down. Shiz was just fantastic timing there.
Yeah, as the door smoke blooms and everything, right? Just getting so much damage off. Coming in late through the skylight. I like the skylight, right? We've had some time to, you know, see it now, and I feel like it's definitely added some more versatility to the B takes, right? The doors flipped is a good change. You can smoke doors safe now. You can set your teammate flashes. You can white your team in pugs by missing the gap in the rafters. That's fun as well. But, yeah. FaZe unable to really get past the big box inside of B, and MIBR take the first of OT. So back to these A splits, I would imagine, for FaZe. But they are leaving a couple towards B early. MIBR, quite the unit, quite mobile. 3 players aggressing on the cat side as well. Rain, he's got a lot on his plate and he doesn't even know about it. They could pop a flash here as well. The molly's going through. He's going to get caught with nades. Rain, shot in the back. They do check the corner. Shiz doubles again with the bomb at his feet. MIBR running over this map right now. Brokey is going to trade, but they're still down a man.
Lots of time left in this round for FaZe to figure out a plan of attack here in this 3 versus 4. There's not a lot of nades here on MIBR. Conversely, FaZe have 2 smokes still, a couple of molotovs, a chunk of flashes, so they have every option available to themselves. Walking up cat, there's the pop flash. Bolts could get flashed in. There it is, and that's a fantastic result. Sees the bomb, gets the kill. Couldn't have gone better.
Even lives to tell the tale. Oh, that flank! The transfer. What control from Danico. This guy's looking like a real talent. 27 kills, top of his team right now, rivaling Brokey on the other side. What a beast.
This wasn't what he was doing the other day either in that, what was it? Well, I think it was the heroic matchup. Yeah, this isn't what he was delivering there. It was much more middle of the pack performance. So great to see him looking more confident as the event's gone on and as the matches get more important as well. Oh, look at this from FaZe. As you can see, everyone's dealing with this scoreline well. The auto snipers are in.
Does some really good damage though. Like look at the health on 3.
The amount of times as well I've seen people spam mid with autos and
like
they won't
3,
hit anything, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Whereas this time, yeah, everyone gets peppered crossing.
It's the epitome of just rolling the dice and hoping for a win. And honestly, very little risk in doing it, right? Like no one's gonna think, oh, I hear them spamming their autos, let me peek them with an AWP. Like how did that go for Apex? Not well. Yeah, great shot for Yell, though, finding a pick onto Cold, holding long doors. He's been there many of these T rounds, and finally Yell cottoned on. The bomb waiting in the same position, but the rest of FaZe are up cat. MIBR 2 in B. And the funny part is, all the damaged players that FaZe tagged through the doors, well, 2 of them are B, one of them's in spawn. And so it's not like the first fights FaZe are going to find are those low HP players. Not that they know. Crossing with the cat smoke, here is Yell to stop them.
Danico is continuing to do damage, this time from below. Cat plant, so at least the bomb is down. However, they do have issues there. They do need to gain ground. They've got to get kills. The smoke going down there on the site will help them in their defense, blocking off some vision from those long players of MIBR on this retake. But they've got to find some frags. Oh no, that could have been a very much needed frag, but Brokey is still on the site at the very least, looking for more. Oh, another whiff, but his teammates are delivering. Olafmeister with a double. Time is of the essence now. It's really ticking down. It's up to Brokey against 3 players. Pistol out, but no time for him. It's a time for MIBR on this defuse. It's going to be real tight. But just about in the nick of time, Yell has the defuse. Couldn't have been much closer than that one. What a crazy round.
NT for Brokey, you got to wonder if he was just like a couple of feet back, you know, not as wide. Maybe that bomb goes off, right? Maybe just killing that one player and getting traded a second later is the round for FaZe. But those are the margins we're working with right now. Really nice attempt at what was a 3-on-5 for FaZe in a post plant, making it close. Close ain't gonna cut it. MIBR 3 chances to get 1 round on this T side, and if we recall regulation, they went 9-6 up. They look really, really good on this T half as well, so they're in a great position right now.
That smoke on the doors really is helpful for FaZe. A lot of control. And with that smoke on the doors, you can see they will double up on Catwalk. This would be the next spot, presumably, for MIBR. If they're defaulting right now FaZe should be able to sense their presence on Catwalk. They have to take Cat at this point. FaZe know it. Here comes the play. Is there a flash? How do they handle this? A 2-man setup, looking for the bait. Flash from the T side. MIBR looking strong on this Cat push. And that's a huge issue now. Cello makes it worse. And FaZe not in a good spot here, gents.
No, Yell might have just closed the map with a slow start, but a strong finish. He's found 2. Bolt is looking for a double as well. One player eluding him going long, but he knows this AWP is here. Bye, Cold. Thanks for coming. Kiebi's gone as well, and it's MIBR to find their first, take their map pick in this series, and style on FaZe with a flawless overtime. Keep that in mind as well. That game was crazy, right? You definitely have to remember the context of FaZe essentially pulling a comeback in the second half. They were down 9-6. They go even further down to, I think it was 12-6. They buy. They pull a massive comeback, they get it to OT, and then they fall. Man, that's going to hurt, but a big win from MIBR nonetheless. FaZe's map pick is Inferno, and that's just around the corner. I don't know what to make of this.
A weird one to look at because FaZe, they almost complete that comeback. Things were looking up, it was looking good, and then MIBR with some great resilience as well, like to just power through and actually get it done in overtime, right? Completing what you couldn't in regulation when you had a bunch of chances, then going on to do that in such a one-sided fashion the moment you hit OT. That's just great to see. We also had recoveries from anyone that was a little bit quiet on the MIBR side, whereas it did feel like, you know, for FaZe, you didn't have that same kind of redemption arc for some of their quieter characters. So yeah, it certainly paints an interesting picture looking at Inferno, which is exactly what we're going to do after the break, so stick around.